Right, Bo.
Yes.
Reform. Nige. Big Nige. Looking like he's probably he's going to be the next Prime Minister of the UK. This is not like a shock horror to anyone that is watching the state of politics. Obviously, Nigel is going to win. There's been many polls. Polling has been, I feel like they've been ramping up with polling lately, it seems. More so than normal, I think, anyway. Or just maybe they've been publishing them more. But a pretty major poll has come out and basically said they're going to win by, I would argue, a landslide. I mean, 306. The projection is 306, so that puts them at like 311, 312 or so seats in Parliament. I'd say that's a landslide. I mean, if they only have 5 MPs now, 5-6 MPs, and then they gain 306, I'd say that's a landslide victory. I mean, that would be a wipeout for everyone else. Everyone else, if it was a game of chess, they're just cleared off the table. They're gone. They're off the board. So it's pretty major. So we'll just have a little bit of a play of this.
It would be a whole new political landscape. Absolutely. It'd be a seismic change. It'd be something that Britain hasn't experienced since what? Since the 20s, since the Labour Party in the 20s, would it have been first came onto the scene and became one of the full-blown main parties. Something new in 100 years, if this happened. A mega poll they've come out with.
Yeah, but nothing ever happens. Remember?
Oh yeah,
this historical thing. This won't. There's nothing's happening. Nothing's happening.
There isn't an election tomorrow, and it's only one poll. But even so, are we on the cusp of a massive change in our politics? Sky News can now reveal the latest polling projection from YouGov. And here it is. It puts Reform UK on course to be the next government, and Nigel Farage, of course, to be the next Prime Minister. Reform UK, the largest party in a hung parliament, almost impossible to stop, going into number 10 with the results that you're just about to see. Right. First, I want to take you back to last July's general election to see just how much things have changed in a matter of months. You can barely see any light blue. That's Reform UK's colour. Labour, well, they're really dominant. Tories still very visible in their dark blue. Now, I'm going to walk over here so you can see just how it's changed. And here it is. Look at this. So much light blue. It's really incredible. The North East, the East Midlands and Wales, all Reform UK dominated. Labour, driven back to a few heartlands. A third of their seats actually now would be in London. And the Tories, well, they're wiped out in the southwest and not even much dark blue in their southeastern heartlands. And so this is what the House of Commons would look like. And the party with the most seats, Nigel Farage's Reform, up to 311 seats. That's up 306. Incredible result for them. 144 seats for Keir Starmer's Labour Party. That would mean them losing 2/3 of their seats. As for Kenny Badenoch's Tories, down on 45 seats. That's pretty existential by the time they reach that low level. Again, down 2/3 of their seats. The Greens, under the new leader, Zach Polansky, up 3. The Liberal Democrats under Ed Davey, they would be up 6 on 78. And the SNP, well, they would be on 37, up 28 seats. So there you go. Now,
Okay, so there you go. I mean, one thing I'll quickly say before we get too carried away, and to remind everyone that Nigel and Reform are a containment project.
Oh,
but
yeah.
Beyond that, they're still the best. They're still the best at the moment. That's realistically in the game. Okay, a lot can happen. It's still like what 3.5, 4 years before the next general election.
Yeah,
and that is, I know it's a cliche, but that is an eternity in politics. You never know what might happen. There could be some crazy scandal that tanks Reform. So it is a long time. If we do have to wait that long before there is a general election, all sorts of possibilities where a general election is long before then. We don't know. But regardless of all those caveats, what a remarkable thing. Like the Labour smashed to bits and the Tories really on life support. Absolutely on life support. Lib Dems just treading water, just pretty much nothing one way or the other. SNP doing a little bit better, but But yeah, Nige, the feeling in the country is that if there's anyone that's prepared to, even as milquetoast as Nige is, in our opinion, if there's anyone that's actually going to stand up for us, even a little bit, it's like, yeah, we're dying for that, like really dying, almost literally in some cases dying for a life vest to be thrown to us, even if it's in the shape of Nigel Farage. A remarkable thing, like I say, we'd have to go back 100 years before you find anything equivalent. What do you think?
Well, so it'd be a hung parliament, wouldn't it? So
right.
I think who would they partner with first and foremost, I think, is the question. Okay,
so the way it works is that if those were the numbers, the palace would invite Nigel Farage to form a new government. Okay. So then there's a number of things. You either make a coalition with anyone, and then you get horse trading. If you remember when Cameron won, first time Cameron won, it wasn't quite enough just to form a government completely on his own. And so you get days, maybe weeks, in some cases, in other parts of the world often, years of haggling over a deal, a coalition deal. We actually got it done really quick. It was like, I don't know, 2, 3, 4 days, something like that, before Nick Clegg. It's remarkably quick, really.
Sign of the uni party apparatus, though, I think.
Yeah. And if something like that is really impossible, really, really impossible, I mean, the obvious thing would be a Tory reform coalition. That's the obvious thing. But if that's not possible, maybe you can rule as a minority government. So he hasn't got, if all the other parties all vote together, every single one of them vote against reform every single time, yeah, it's a super weak government, but you can govern as a quote unquote minority government, right? In the very, very last months of John Major's government, it was a minority government to the tune of like 1, I think. So that's a possibility as well. Or what often actually happens in reality, if it's a hung parliament like that, and they've gone weeks or even months without forming a coalition, and Nigel or the reform leadership don't feel like they want to or can govern as a minority government, you have another election. So that would happen within a month or two. They just call another election. And historically speaking, when that happens, the party that's actually has won last time, historically, usually they go on to win more.
Yeah.
Because the country said, look, we gave you our opinion. We want reform. You bastards in Westminster haven't been able to sort it out amongst you. Well, we'll vote more reform then. How about that? That's the psychology. That's often how it goes when that plays out. So yeah, there's a number of things, a number of avenues it can go if those are the numbers at the next general election. But yeah, short of some sort of catastrophic scandal for reform, Mr. Farage will be invited to form a government and be His Majesty's Prime Minister.
I think it's good. I think it's good from multiple perspectives. Like, look, again, we got to repeat it here every so often. We're not Nigel Farage fans. We're not, but we're also not blinded by tribalism either, right? Like, I'm speaking for you here, Bo, but I'm sure you'll share the sentiments. If either of us thought that Nigel Farage was going to do what needs to be done, we'd vote for him in a heartbeat and we'd be happy, right? No matter what we think of the man himself. So I think this is good on multiple levels, primarily because of what it sends message-wise to the institutions to the political institutions. And, you know, the argument is you can't vote your way out of it. That's long been dropped down in the comments. And you know what? Maybe time will prove those people right that suggest that. But if anything, this would be one of those last ditch efforts, right? And I've said this a few times, probably here as well as in conversation. I know I've said it with you, is that it doesn't actually matter whether Nigel does what we want him to or not. Because ultimately, if he fails, we will get something after him that will absolutely do what we want. It's actually in everyone's best interest if it's Nigel, because, you know, what comes after him has the potential to be an incredibly extreme approach. So it's actually better if he does what we want him to do. But at the end of the day, it's a good thing. This is a brilliant thing, you know.
Yeah.
Tories nearly on 0 seats. Love it. Disgusting scumbags. That thing's done. They're a corpse walking. And everyone just needs to accept that they are done and they will die, and that party will never come back. There's no Phoenix moment there. They won't rise from the ashes. There's no one that could take that over and revamp their image, because conservatism isn't enough. It isn't enough. We don't want conservatism. Well, you're going to conserve the shit status quo that we're in now. No thanks. No thanks. You need radical change. So they're done. They're gone. Labour. Good Lord. Love it. Love to see it. I bet you anything, given the mood of the nation with the digital ID cards, it would be even lower than that. It's going to be even lower than that. They are going to be obliterated at the ballot box. Dysgenic Zach up 3 or whatever. Yeah, sure, whatever. Fucking they're clowns. No one cares. And the Lib Dems, as always, just floating around. I'm surprised, actually, that they wouldn't gain more. But yeah, again, love it. I'm here for it. Sorry, I just rambled quite a lot, but yeah, I'm here for it.
Yeah, that freak Polanski. What a freak. Yeah, and the Lib Dems, I mean, if you noticed on that map they showed, it's actually quite in the west, the southwest, and Scotland, where the Lib Dems still do okay. It's because those are the places where there's least diversity, where people don't actually have to live with the fatigue, the kind of horror of it. They still don't live with it every day, so they've still got the luxury of thinking, "Oh, I can vote for Ed Davey." But okay, yeah, I mean, yeah, I've thrown plenty of shade at Reform and Nigel, of course I have. But there's the reality of politics, right? Politics is party politics anyway. You are dealing with reality, so there's no point there's really no point if you're going to engage with it at all in being sort of so virtuous that you're not prepared to be realistic. So, for example, what I really mean is that the leader of the Lib Dems, the Labour, the Conservatives, or Reform, one of those leaders will be the Prime Minister, as it stands, unless Rupert Lowe makes a new party and somehow galvanises the entire right and wins all the arguments against Farage and goes up in the polls and somehow, short of something like that, one of those 4 people will be the next Prime Minister. That's the reality. Again, a lot could happen in 4 years, you know, but let's say nothing giant happens. So giant scandals or implosions. The reality is one of those 4 people will be the next Prime Minister. So when you're given a binary choice or a limited choice, then Nigel is the best one. Containment machine, hypno-toad, gatekeeper of the right that he is, he's going to be better than the leader of the Tories or Labour. Okay, so if that's my choice, I take it. Right? It's the same with when people say, "Oh, why do you support Trump? It's so cringe that you would wear a MAGA hat," because Trump is still essentially a 90s liberal. Yeah, but reality is that either the leader of the Democrat Party or the leader of the candidate for the Republican Party or the candidate for the Democrat Party is going to be the president. So when you're faced with a binary choice, it's straight up and down binary choice. Okay, so you pick the lesser of two evils. You've got no other option. There's no option to not have one or the other. You have to pick one or the other, or just completely wash your hands of it and go and live in the woods. So short of that, you have to pick one. Well, so I will pick Trump over Kamala Harris then. Yeah. I'll pick Trump over Hillary Clinton then. Yeah. So that's the case with Farage. Yeah, I'm not happy with him. He's nowhere near good enough for me. But of course, I'm going to pick him over Keir Starmer or Kemi Badenoch. Of course, and ultimately happily so, right? So, but that's politics for you. It's a dirty business. It's a dirty game. But yeah, I mean, if that was if what they showed in that clip we just showed is the result at the next general election, oh, I'll be happy as Larry. I'll be I'll be smiling despite everything. And people know if they've ever watched us or they've watched Lotus Eaters, they know our reservations with reform. So I needn't really stress those. People will know, but it's a very, very limited number of people that can be prime minister.